The creature was a living nightmare, 6-jointed legs ending in razor claws, an elongated body covered in iridescent scales that shifted between deep purple and midnight black, and multiple rows of teeth visible in a mouth that seemed to take up half its head. Its 4 eyes tracked Maya's every movement with predatory precision. Yet the alien woman holding its leash, if the glowing energy tether could be called that, seemed entirely unconcerned by Maya's fear. "Your biological responses fascinate me, human," said the tall, slender figure. Her skin had a faint bluish cast, marked with geometric patterns that might have been tattoos or natural markings. "Your heart rate has increased by approximately 73%, yet you maintain your position. Is this bravery or simply shock?" Dr. Maya Frost, lead xenobiologist at Research Station Omega-12, tried to keep her voice steady. "Professional curiosity outweighs self-preservation, I suppose." She kept her eyes on the creature rather than its master. "May I ask what species your pet belongs to?" The alien woman's mouth curved into what might have been a smile, revealing teeth that were uncomfortably sharp. "Shadows who hunt is no pet, human. We are bonded hunters. My people, the Krivari, do not domesticate, we form alliances." The creature, Shadows, made a sound somewhere between a hiss and a purr, its scaled body tensing. Maya noticed how its posture mirrored the alien woman's alert stance. "And you are?" Maya asked, slowly reaching for the data pad clipped to her belt. "I am called Tila, first hunter of the Night Stalker clan." She tilted her head, the motion oddly bird-like. "Your recording device is unnecessary. I have already permitted the orbital sensors of your outpost to document my biological parameters." Maya blinked in surprise. "You know about our security systems? We have been observing your installation for 17 of your lunar cycles." Tila's 4-fingered hand stroked the creature's head absently. "Your species is remarkably oblivious to what exists beyond your perception." The implications of that statement made Maya's blood run cold. How many other alien species might be watching humanity without their knowledge? "Why reveal yourself now?" Maya asked, finally finding the courage to look directly at Tila rather than her frightening companion. "Necessity. A cosmic event approaches that will damage your outpost. My elders decided the potential benefits of contact outweigh the risks." Tila's eyes, solid amber with no visible pupil, fixed on Maya's. "Your scientific value is considerable. It would be wasteful to allow you to perish." The creature suddenly tensed, its multiple eyes focusing on something behind Maya. She turned to see her colleague Dr. Elias Takeda emerging from the airlock, his expression changing from curiosity to horror as he spotted Shadows. "Maya, don't move," he whispered, his hand moving toward the emergency beacon on his wrist. "He fears for you," Tila observed with evident fascination. "Yet Shadows who hunt has made no aggressive move. Is this another human trait, to fear what is merely different rather than what is threatening?" "Most Earth predators don't have quite so many teeth," Maya replied, gesturing for Elias to stay calm. "Or legs, for that matter." Tila made a sound that might have been laughter. "Perhaps your predators lack ambition." With a gesture from Tila, the creature settled onto its haunches, though its eyes remained fixed on Elias. The tension in its body reminded Maya of a coiled spring, potential energy waiting to be released. "I have come to propose an exchange," Tila continued. "Knowledge for knowledge. Safety for safety." Her head tilted again. "My kind hunts, human, but we prefer worthy prey. Your species has potential that interests us." Maya felt the weight of those words. Not a threat, precisely, but a measurement, as if humanity was being assessed against some cosmic standard she couldn't begin to comprehend. "I believe," Maya said carefully, "that we should continue this conversation inside the station. With your permission, I'd like to introduce you to our team properly." Tila's expression shifted subtly. "And Shadows who hunt?" Your hunting partner is welcome too, Maya replied, hoping she wouldn't regret the words. Though perhaps we should warn the others first. As they walked toward the station, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't heading toward first contact but something far more intimate and dangerous, the beginning of a relationship that would redefine what she understood about connection, fear, and the thin line that separated predator from partner. The emergency klaxons of Omega-12 blared as another meteor impact rocked the station. Maya braced herself against the lab workstation, watching in dismay as cracks spiderwebbed across the reinforced viewport. Atmospheric integrity at 63% and falling, announced the station's AI. Emergency protocols initiated. All personnel proceed to escape pods. Elias rushed into the lab, his face pale. Maya, we need to go. That last hit took out the communications array, and the structural integrity field is failing. We can't leave, Maya insisted, frantically gathering data drives. 3 years of xenobiological research, it'll all be lost. Your lives are more valuable than your data, said Tila from the doorway. The Krivari hunter had been observing the humans with quiet intensity since her arrival 3 days earlier. Now, with Shadows who hunt prowling restlessly at her side, she seemed more alien than ever, unmoved by the chaos around her. My vessel can accommodate you and your essential materials, Tila continued. It orbits beyond the meteor field. Elias shot Maya a skeptical look. We barely know her. How can we trust? If I desired your deaths, Tila interrupted, inaction would suffice. She gestured toward the viewport where the meteor shower illuminated the black expanse of space. Your choice is simple, trust or perish. Another impact shuddered through the station, and the lights flickered. Maya made her decision. How much can we bring? She asked, ignoring Elias's protest. Tila's amber eyes narrowed slightly. 1 container each. We depart in 10 minutes. As they hurried to gather the most critical samples and data, Maya couldn't shake her unease. Despite 3 days of careful observation and cautious dialogue, Tila remained an enigma. The Krivari seemed to regard humans with a mixture of curiosity and something that might have been respect, but their concept of alliance clearly differed from human understanding. When they reached Tila's ship, a sleek, obsidian craft that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, Maya hesitated at the entrance ramp. You fear entering my domain, Tila observed, her head tilting in that characteristic bird-like manner. Wouldn't you, in my position? Maya countered. Shadows who hunt made a sound that resembled laughter, prompting Maya to wonder just how intelligent the creature truly was. Fear is the beginning of wisdom, Tila replied, her mouth curving into that not-quite smile. Come. The storm intensifies. The interior of the Krivari vessel defied Maya's expectations. Instead of cold, sterile technology, the walls pulsed with what appeared to be bioluminescent veins, casting a soft, amber glow throughout the curved chambers. Surfaces that looked metallic yielded slightly to touch, as if the ship itself were partly alive. Your vessel is biological? Maya asked as Tila guided them to a central chamber. Not precisely, Tila replied. We believe technology should respond to life, not dominate it. Your human constructs are rigid. Uncompromising. Elias set down his container of equipment. Like us, you mean? Tila's expression shifted to something unreadable. Your species has potential for flexibility. It is why we decided to make contact rather than simply observe. As the ship detached from the doomed station and accelerated smoothly away from the meteor field, Maya felt a strange sensation, as if the vessel itself were evaluating her. Where are we going? She asked, watching Omega-12 diminish through a viewport that seemed more organic than mechanical. To my hunting grounds, Tila replied, her fingers tracing patterns on a console that responded with pulses of light. A small moon in this system that supports an atmosphere compatible with both our species. Shadows who hunt approached Maya, its multiple eyes studying her with unnerving intelligence. Without warning, it extended a tendril from beneath its scales, a flexible appendage that hovered near her hand. "He wishes to taste your biochemistry," Tila explained, noting Maya's alarm. "It is how the shadows learn." "Will it hurt?" Maya asked, torn between scientific curiosity and self-preservation. "Pain is not his purpose," Tila said, which Maya noted was not exactly a denial. Taking a deep breath, Maya extended her hand. The tendril touched her skin, cool and slightly damp, and she felt a momentary tingling sensation as it withdrew. Shadows made a series of clicks and whistles, its body colors shifting to include flecks of warm gold. "Interesting," Tila murmured. "He finds your molecular structure harmonious." "Is that good?" Elias asked, keeping his distance. "It is unexpected," Tila replied. "The Krivari and shadows who hunt evolved as parallel species, our biology's complementary. That he finds similarity with yours suggests possibilities." The way she said possibilities sent an unexpected shiver through Maya, not entirely unpleasant. As they approached the moon, its surface revealed lush, alien vegetation in shades of purple and deep blue. Tila's dwelling emerged from the landscape, a structure that seemed grown rather than built, rising from the surrounding forest like an extension of the environment. "You will be safe here," Tila said as the ship settled into what appeared to be a living dock. "The hunting season does not begin for several lunar cycles." "Hunting season?" Elias echoed with evident concern. "My clan gathers to hunt the great herd beasts that migrate through these valleys," Tila explained. "It is our most sacred time, when bonds are formed and strengthened." Her gaze lingered on Maya in a way that suggested she wasn't referring only to the bonds between Krivari and their hunting companions. "Until then," Tila continued, "we have time for a different kind of hunt. For understanding between our species." As they disembarked, Maya realized that their uneasy alliance had evolved into something far more complex. They were no longer simply refugees from a damaged station, but the first humans to experience Krivari culture from within. And somehow, despite the alien surroundings and the predatory presence of shadows who hunt, Maya felt a strange sense of belonging, as if some part of her had been waiting for this moment of connection across the stars. The amber light of the twin moons filtered through the translucent membrane that served as a ceiling in Maya's quarters. 2 weeks had passed since their arrival at Tila's dwelling, and still the alien environment continued to surprise her. The structure responded to its inhabitants, expanding, contracting, and changing temperature based on subtle biochemical cues. "Your dwelling is semi-sentient," Maya observed as Tila entered, the doorway irising open at her approach. "It's like living inside a responsive organism." "All things should adapt to their purpose," Tila replied, settling gracefully onto a cushion that conformed to her angular body. "Your human habitats resist their occupants rather than accommodating them." Shadows who hunt prowled into the room behind his master, his scaled body gleaming in the moonlight. Over the past weeks, Maya had grown almost comfortable with the predator's presence. "Almost. I've been analyzing the biological samples you provided," Maya said, activating her salvaged data tablet. "The symbiotic relationship between Krivari and the shadow species is fascinating. The neural pathways suggest a form of paired evolution I've never encountered before." Tila's head tilted. "You speak of our bond as if it were merely biological. It is more profound." Maya looked up from her data. "How so?" Instead of answering, Tila extended her hand toward Shadows. The creature approached and pressed its forehead against her palm. The geometric patterns on Tila's skin began to glow softly, matched by similar illumination along Shadow's spine. "We share consciousness," Tila explained, her voice taking on a dual quality, as if two beings spoke through one throat. "Not merely thoughts or sensations, but essence. When the bond is formed, hunter and companion become extensions of each other." Maya's scientific curiosity overcame her caution. May I? She asked, gesturing toward her scanning device. Tila nodded, and Maya recorded the extraordinary neural activity taking place between the two beings. The readings defied conventional understanding, energy patterns that seemed to flow between separate biological entities as if they were a single organism. This is incredible, Maya breathed. The implications for our understanding of consciousness. Your species views consciousness as isolated within individual forms, Tila said, the glow fading as she lowered her hand. This limits you. Maya set down her tablet. Is that why you brought us here? To study our limitations? I brought you here because your extinction would have been wasteful, Tila replied. I keep you here because you interest me. The directness of the statement caught Maya off guard. She had noticed Tila's increasing attention, the way the hunter observed her interactions with Elias, the subtle changes in Tila's body language when they worked together. Elias thinks you see us as potential prey, Maya said carefully. Tila made that sound that might have been laughter. If that were true, you would already be hunted. No, Maya Frost, I see potential for a different kind of bond. Maya felt her pulse quicken. Between our species? Between us. Shadows Who Hunt moved closer to Maya, his multiple eyes studying her with newfound intensity. The creature extended a tendril toward her, the same one that had tasted her upon their arrival. He wishes to share with you, Tila explained, her amber eyes unblinking. A brief connection, so you might understand. Is it dangerous? Maya asked, though she already knew her scientific curiosity would override any risk assessment. All meaningful connections carry risk, Tila replied. But he will be gentle with your consciousness. Maya hesitated only briefly before nodding. The tendril touched her forehead, and the world dissolved. She was suddenly experiencing reality through multiple visual spectrums simultaneously. She could taste the chemical composition of the air, feel the subtle vibrations of the living dwelling, sense the electromagnetic fields generated by the technology in her tablet. Most overwhelming was the presence of Tila, no longer separate but somehow intermingled with her own awareness. When the connection broke, Maya gasped, steadying herself against the wall as her perception returned to normal. That was. She struggled to find words adequate to describe the experience. The beginning of understanding, Tila finished for her, moving closer. Among my people, such sharing often precedes physical joining. The implication was unmistakable. Maya felt a complex mixture of emotions, scientific fascination, nervousness, and something deeper, more primal. Our anatomies are quite different, she said, attempting to maintain professional detachment even as her body responded to Tila's proximity. Form follows function, but pleasure transcends both, Tila replied, her voice lowering to a register that seemed to resonate directly with Maya's nervous system. If you wish it, I can show you how the Krivari express connection. Maya was acutely aware of Shadows Who Hunt watching them with intelligent interest. And your companion? He is part of me, as I am of him. Our experiences are shared, though he will maintain physical distance if that comforts you. The creature seemed to understand, retreating to a corner of the room where it settled, attentive but separate. Maya made her decision, driven by a combination of scientific curiosity and a more personal desire she hadn't fully acknowledged until this moment. Show me, she whispered. What followed was unlike anything in Maya's experience. Tila's touch carried electrical impulses that seemed to map her nerve endings, creating sensations that defied human categories of pleasure. The geometric patterns on the Krivari skin illuminated in waves that matched the rhythm of their movements. Through some echo of the mental connection established earlier, Maya sensed fragments of Tila's experience as well, the alienness of human skin, the fascination with Maya's responses. Their joining transcended physical boundaries, becoming something that existed in the space between species, not human sexuality nor Krivari bonding ritual, but something new, born of their unique connection. Afterward, lying beside Tila on the living surface that had reshaped itself to cradle them both, Maya realized that the bond she now shared with the hunter had irrevocably changed her understanding of connection. Shadows who hunt approached and settled near them, his body emanating a warmth that suggested contentment. Your fear of him has diminished, Tila observed, tracing a finger along Maya's arm. I'm beginning to understand, Maya replied, finding the courage to extend her hand toward the creature. He's not just your pet or companion. He's part of who you are. As Shadows pressed his head against her palm in a gesture of acceptance, Maya wondered how this newfound bond would change all their futures, and what Elias and the others would think when they discovered just how close their uneasy alliance had become. The perimeter alarm sliced through the pre-dawn silence, yanking Maya from sleep. Beside her, Tila was already alert, her amber eyes glowing in the darkness as she communicated silently with Shadows who hunt. What is it? Maya asked, reaching for her clothes. Intruders, Tila replied, her voice carrying an edge Maya hadn't heard before. A rival hunting party from the mountain clans. They tracked your station's distress signal. Fear gripped Maya's chest. Elias and the others are in danger, Tila finished, retrieving her hunting gear from a recess in the wall. The weapons she selected seemed to blur the line between technology and biology, curved blades with faintly luminescent edges and what appeared to be a living projectile launcher that molded itself to her forearm. These mountain clan hunters, what do they want? Maya asked, following Tila toward the dwelling's entrance. The same thing any hunter desires, worthy prey. Tila's expression hardened. They consider humans' untested potential. They wish to determine your species' value through combat. Maya's blood ran cold. They want to hunt us? To test you, Tila corrected, though the distinction offered little comfort. It is their way of establishing respect. Outside, the alien forest was awakening to the first light of the system's distant sun. Shadows who hunt prowled ahead of them, his scaled body shifting color to match the surrounding vegetation. We must reach the secondary dwelling before they do, Tila said, moving with practiced silence through the underbrush. Elias and your other colleagues remain there with the research materials. Maya struggled to keep pace, grateful for the weeks she'd spent adapting to the higher gravity of this moon. Can't you communicate with them? Tell them these hunters are from your species? The mountain clans acknowledge no authority but strength, Tila replied grimly. They believe my clan has grown soft through too much observation and too little action. As they crested a ridge overlooking the valley, Maya spotted movement below, for figures moving with predatory grace toward the smaller structure where Elias and the other 3 surviving researchers had been living. Like Tila, these Krivari were tall and lithe, but their skin patterns glowed with harsher, more angular designs. Each was accompanied by a companion creature similar to Shadows, though their forms seemed bulkier, more heavily armored. 4 hunters, Maya whispered. Can we stop them? Tila's mouth curved into that not-quite smile that Maya had come to recognize as determination. We must. What followed was unlike any combat Maya had witnessed. Tila and Shadows moved as a single entity, communicating through their bond to coordinate attacks from multiple angles. The mountain clan hunters were skilled, but they hadn't anticipated the presence of another Krivari, especially not one fighting alongside a human. Maya's contribution to the battle was rooted in science rather than combat prowess. Using a modified scanner from her research equipment, she managed to create electromagnetic pulses that temporarily disrupted the neural bond between the rival hunters and their companions, creating moments of confusion that Tila exploited with lethal efficiency. The battle reached its climax when the leader of the mountain clan, a scarred Krivari with deep crimson markings, cornered Elias near the dwelling's entrance. Maya watched in horror as the alien raised a weapon that pulsed with bioenergy. Stop, she cried, throwing herself between Elias and the hunter. This isn't a fair test of his worth. The mountain clan leader paused, his alien features registering surprise at her intervention. You would die for this one? He asked, his voice carrying the same dual quality that Tila's took on when deeply connected with shadows. I would fight for him, Maya corrected, raising her makeshift disruptor. There's a difference. Before the hunter could respond, Tila appeared behind him, her blade at his throat. The human speaks truth, Vexkar. There is no honor in hunting those who have not chosen the role of prey. A tense standoff ensued, broken only when Shadows Who Hunt emerged from the underbrush dragging one of the rival companions, clearly injured but alive, a powerful demonstration of restraint and dominance. Slowly, the mountain clan leader lowered his weapon. Your human shows courage, he conceded. Perhaps there is worth in them beyond what we perceived. They have much to teach, if you would learn rather than hunt, Tila replied, her blade still ready. After a moment that seemed to stretch eternally, the rival hunter made a gesture of submission. The hunt is ended. We will withdraw and report to our clan elders that humans merit further observation before judgment. As the mountain clan retreated with their wounded companions, Maya felt her legs give way beneath her. The adrenaline that had sustained her throughout the confrontation ebbed, leaving her trembling. Tila knelt beside her, concern evident in her alien features. You risked yourself unnecessarily, she said, though there was admiration mixed with the reproach. I learned from you, Maya replied with a weak smile. All worthy things involve risk. Elias approached cautiously, his gaze moving between Maya and Tila with dawning comprehension. You two have become close. It wasn't a question, but Maya answered anyway. We've formed a bond of our own, she said, accepting Tila's hand as she rose to her feet. One that just might have saved all our lives. As they made their way back to the main dwelling, Shadows Who Hunt prowling protectively around them, Maya realized that the danger had transformed their relationship yet again. What had begun as scientific curiosity, evolved into physical connection, and now had been forged in shared combat into something that transcended both their species' understanding of alliance. They were neither predator and prey, nor simply lovers, they were something new in the galaxy. Something with potential that even the mountain clan hunters had recognized. The communication array hummed to life, its repaired circuits finally establishing a connection with Earth's deep space network. After 3 months on Tila's world, the moment Maya had initially worked toward had finally arrived, contact with home. Signal established, announced Dr. Haruki Yamamoto, the communication specialist who had survived the station's destruction. We're receiving a response from Luna Command. They're sending a retrieval vessel. Estimated arrival in 6 weeks. The news should have filled Maya with relief. Instead, she felt a complex tangle of emotions as she looked around at what had become their shared dwelling, a space now modified to accommodate both human and Krivari biology. Elias noticed her hesitation. You're not planning to go back, are you? Maya met his gaze steadily. I don't know yet. In the 3 weeks since the confrontation with the mountain clan hunters, relations between the human researchers and the Krivari had evolved significantly. What began as Tila's solitary outreach had expanded as other members of her Night Stalker clan made contact, curious about the species that had earned their first hunter's respect. The dwelling now housed 3 additional Krivari, each with their companion creatures. The humans had gradually adjusted to the presence of these predatory pairs, finding unexpected common ground in shared scientific curiosity. The Krivari hunters proved to be sophisticated observers with insights into planetary ecosystems that revolutionized several Earth theories. Maya found Tila in the observatory chamber, her sleek form silhouetted against the massive viewport that revealed the gas giant this moon orbited. Shadows Who Hunt rested nearby, his scales reflecting the planet's swirling storms. They're coming for us, Maya said simply. Tila turned, her geometric patterns pulsing with what Maya had learned to recognize as complex emotion. You must decide where you belong, she said. Is it that simple? Belonging to one world or another? Nothing about what exists between us has been simple, Tila replied, extending her hand in the gesture that had become intimate between them. Maya took it, feeling the now familiar electrical connection as their skin touched. "The scientific value of staying here is immeasurable," she said. "The first long-term human observer of Kravari culture, the potential for biological and technological exchange." "You rationalize," Tila observed gently. "Your mind creates reasons that your heart has already decided." The truth of those words resonated through Maya. She had changed in these months, not just in her understanding of alien biology, but in her perception of connection itself. The bond she shared with Tila defied categorization in human terms. It was neither purely physical nor entirely emotional, but something that existed in the spaces between defined experience. "If I stay," Maya said cautiously, "would I ever be more than an observer? Could I truly become part of your world?" Tila's expression softened. "You already are. The clan elders have authorized a formal bonding ceremony, should you wish it. Not as Kravari and human, but as hunter and hunter, equals in our understanding." "And Shadows? Would he accept a more permanent connection?" As if understanding his name, the creature rose and approached them, his multiple eyes regarding Maya with what she now recognized as affection. "He has already chosen you," Tila said. "The night we joined, he formed the beginning of a bond. It is unusual but not unprecedented for a shadow species to connect with more than one consciousness." Maya felt a flicker of something, not fear, but anticipation. "You mean I could share in your connection? Experience what you experience?" "Partially, at first. The full bond takes years to develop. But yes, you could begin the journey." The implications were staggering. Not just for Maya personally, but for human understanding of consciousness itself. The possibility of experiencing existence through an alien neural network, of sharing perception across species boundaries, it represented an evolutionary leap beyond anything in recorded history. "The others will return to Earth," Maya said, her decision crystallizing. "They need to take our research back, prepare humanity for formal first contact. But I need to stay. Not just for science, but for this." She squeezed Tila's hand. "For us." The days that followed were filled with preparations. Maya worked tirelessly to organize the research data for her colleagues' return journey, while simultaneously beginning the initial rituals that would prepare her for the bonding ceremony. On the eve of the Earth vessel's arrival, the Kravari gathered in the ceremonial clearing. Under the light of the twin moons, Maya stood before Tila and Shadows who hunt, dressed in a garment that the dwelling had grown specifically for this occasion, a seamless blend of human aesthetics and Kravari biological technology. Elias and the others watched from a respectful distance, witnesses to a historic moment of genuine connection between species. "You understand that this bond cannot be broken," the clan elder said to Maya, his ancient form supported by two companion creatures. "To join with Hunter and Shadow is to transform your very essence." "I understand," Maya replied with certainty. The ritual itself transcended Maya's expectations. As Shadows extended his connection tendril to her forehead, and Tila completed the circuit with her touch, Maya experienced a profound shift in consciousness. She perceived reality through triple awareness, her own human senses, Tila's Kravari perception, and the multispectral awareness of Shadows who hunt. In that moment of connection, barriers of evolution and biology fell away. Maya understood with perfect clarity why Tila had asked that first day why she wasn't afraid, because fear existed only in separation, in the illusion of otherness. When the initial bonding concluded, Maya opened her eyes to a transformed world. Colors had new dimensions, sounds carried emotional resonance, and most significantly, she felt the constant, reassuring presence of Tila and Shadows at the edges of her consciousness. "The beginning of understanding," she whispered, echoing Tila's words from months earlier. The following day, as the Earth vessel descended through the atmosphere, Maya stood with her new family to greet her old species. Whatever challenges lay ahead in bridging these two worlds, she faced them not as Dr. Maya Frost, human xenobiologist, but as something new, a pioneer of consciousness, standing at the threshold between separate existences and shared understanding. As Elias prepared to board with the others, he embraced Maya one final time. "Are you certain?" he asked. "Once we leave." "I've never been more certain of anything," Maya replied, feeling the dual presence of Tila and shadows in her mind like twin stars guiding her path. "Tell them I'm not their ambassador to an alien species. Tell them I'm proof that the very concept of alien is just a failure of imagination." As the Earth vessel rose into the atmosphere, Maya turned back to the dwelling that had become her home, her hand finding Tila's as shadows prowled contentedly beside them. The hunter's companion, once a creature of nightmares, now represented the most profound connection Maya had ever known. "They will return," Tila said, watching the ship diminish against the sky. "Yes," Maya agreed. "And when they do, we'll be ready to show them that understanding begins where fear ends." Together, the bonded trio walked back into their shared future, no longer predator and prey, alien and human, but pioneers of a new kind of consciousness that reached across the stars to find connection in the most unexpected forms.